Good evening and welcome to the 2022 MICCA Concert Festival. Our next group in the evaluation is the King Philip High School Concert Band under the direction of Michael Keogh and Josh Walla. Their program today includes First Suite in E-flat for Military Band, Movement 3 by Gustav Holst, Variations on America by Charles Ives, and Of Our New Day Begun by Omar Thomas. As a courtesy to the performers, please turn off all cell phones and other noise-making devices, and please refrain from texting. Also, please be aware that the judges are in the back of the hall making taped comments for the benefit of the students and their teachers. This is a normal part of the adjudication process. After the performance, the ensemble will participate in a clinic with one of the adjudicators. This clinic is an important part of the festival experience as students will receive valuable lessons and feedback from the adjudicator in person. This year, the clinic is limited to directors, performing students, and the school-designated chaperones. This year, Michael will not host official award ceremonies. Instead, directors will collect their materials from the site host before they leave today. We congratulate all of the students and their directors on their participation in this year's festival. Also, please be aware that your hand stamp and program booklet will allow you admission to any of the 7 MICCA performance sites this weekend. Please save your program booklet and be prepared to show your hand stamp and booklet to access the other sites. Please join me now in welcoming Michael Keogh and the King Philip High School Concert Band.
families in the clinic, and he called Alberta, trying to come up behind the bush and said, just tell them they were great, get off the stage. Because they were like, what do you say to them, you know? So I am going to say the things I heard. Oh, I'm Gary Martin. I'm from Houston, Texas. I wear this coat because you're supposed to look fancy. Now I'm taking it off. So anyway, you're very lucky in the fact that there are very few teachers in a school who get to choose what their students work on. I don't know about Massachusetts, but in Texas, teachers don't get to choose what novel they're going to read. They don't get to choose what they're going to do in math class. It's all given to them, and you have to follow these standards. You all have that same kind of thing in the academics. Massachusetts is different. That's why I heard this on the radio on NPR. It said Massachusetts is third in the world in math. And it said if Massachusetts broke away and became a country, it said it would be the #1 country in the world in math. I heard that on NPR.
That's because we got a dean in Massachusetts.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's what I heard. I heard it on the radio. But no, where I'm from, you know, everything is handed to the teachers. They have to do this. In first grade, they all have to teach the same thing. They all have to, maybe it's just different here. But generally, band directors and choir directors and orchestra directors, nobody tells him what to pick. He picks it on his own. No, he doesn't have a principal saying you have to do this and you have to do this. And you have played two 20th century, you played a really wide variety of music here. And that's really good because we're getting to a point where everybody's just playing nothing but contemporary music. Everybody's playing 21st century music. And the fact that you're playing what you're playing is really a big deal. I made a comment right away at the beginning of the march about the warmth of the sound. The band sounded really warm, and I was just loving it. As you played, about halfway through and for the rest of the way, I was almost thinking, boy, I think I would take some of those people off the high stuff. It just kind of got, do you guys know what the word stripe means? Like it's just getting kind of edgy. The top of the band was getting kind of edgy toward the end. It really was. And that's really easy to happen. And to me, the way to fix that, if you had to fix it, if we were talking about fixing it, it would be just to get maybe less people up there. You know, because, you know, not everybody has to be up there. Because the higher it is, the more it carries. Does everybody know that? Yeah. The higher the pitch is, the more people are going to hear it. Start the march. Ready? What's nice, Mr. Alberta, is when they can play the game, I can do things differently. You know, this is kind of like a kid in a candy store kind of thing. Ready? I'm not going to take his tempo, so if you're not with me, just look up and you'll follow me. Ready? A little more hair on the bass drum. A little more hair on the bass drum. You know what I'm trying to say to you? A little more hair on the bass drum. Okay, ready? Set. Sound I heard. Now go to the legato stuff. Go to A. 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 1, 2, A. A little less hair on the upper trombone. A little less hair on the upper trombone. A. 1, 2, ready. Nobody's erased it yet. This is just me. Whenever you're playing unison with somebody, I heard somebody say it best one time. It was on Incantation and Dance. He said, I don't want to hear trombone, I don't want to hear euphonium, I don't want to hear tuba, I want to hear tubonium. Now what do you think that meant? I want to hear tubonium. So should any sound dominate it? There's a sound and everybody wants to get inside that sound. Now, the only thing I disagree with about it is usually there is a sound that should be the dominant sound. To me, this section we're in right now, the horn should dominate. They may disagree. I don't care. So, anyway, to me, they're the horns, and clarinets, you need to get inside that sound. Get inside of that sound. So maybe clarinets pull back a tiny bit, horns pull up a little bit, and that's going to change the sound of that. So start in A. Ready? I kind of felt like from where I was sitting in the auditorium, the clarinets were dominating the whole section. Ready? A. 1, 2, A. Good. That was the best yet. One more. Variation on America. A little story about this. Everybody say it out loud. Who wrote Variation on America? Who transcribed it for band? Based on? I actually knew William Rhodes and his wife. An interesting story about this piece. William Rhodes, I can't remember whose idea was to transcribe it, but he did the transcription. And how many copies do you think it sold, Mr. Alberta?
700 million.
Thousands. Thousands. Standard royalty on compositions is 10%. Standard royalty is 10%. When a composer I know gets a $90,000 royalty check from one company, that means a lot of music was sold. 10%. So that means at $95 a set, $9.50 a set, if 1,000 of them sell, you see what he's made and so forth. Mr. Rhodes told me, oh, and by the way, William Rhodes was in William Ravelli's very first beginning band class when Ravelli started teaching. He knows what I'm talking about. Anyway, makes him a really kind of high cotton, big deal. We say that in Texas, you're a high cotton. William Rhodes told me that when the deal was finally done, after he'd done it, they said, oh, by the way, we can't give you the royalties because William Schumann gets the royalties. And they gave him a flat $500 fee. He made $500 for transcribing this, which if he'd gotten the royalties, he could have built a house from it. I'm telling you right now. He probably couldn't have. So he only got $500 to do this piece. But he said he doesn't regret it. He said every time it plays, he said, I'm so proud of it because it's a masterpiece. Let's face it, who could have done it better for band? So many of the greats have been redone by other arrangers. I don't know that anybody else has redone this because this is perfect. There's no reason to redo it. Okay. Here we go. Ready? I hate when people do that. Hands down, horns down. The most important thing in this piece is you can always find the melody. You got to be careful that the decorations don't cover the melody. Anything but melody, anything except My Country 'Tis of Thee in this piece is decoration. You have to be very careful that that melody is never secondary. The decorations are never the most important part. Never the most important part. And I think I said that on recording at one point. And I also made a disclaimer at the beginning. Said my recordings from the clinic bands are always never good because you think about, okay, oh yeah, my recording's terrible, so if you don't want to listen to it, fine. Okay, ready? There's no way I'm going to do it the way he does it. Ready? To me, A to B is a constant crescendo. A to B is a constant crescendo. And you're coming down at A really nicely. Now let's grow more. Start at A. Ready? A. Set. Ready? Build. Okay. Yeah, it's attitude. There's no melody through here. Dum da dum. Ya da 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 da. Get nasty with it. Get nasty with it. Because they're going to go ya da 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 da. B. Ready? B. Ready? More. Okay, that's a place where bringing the dynamics down, sometimes you underdo it a little bit, you overdo it a little bit, so a little more than that. Okay, go ahead and start at C. C. Oh, that hasn't been running, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We got about, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes.
Okay, I was gonna say that was running on the old. Okay, I actually looked at it. C, ready? Ready. No, I'm saying this because I got two masters sitting in the room. In this piece, I hear a lot of these things that pop out. They should just jump out at you. Dee da da, ya da da. Yeah, it should just jump out at you because pretend like a person's never heard this piece. There should be surprises all over the place. Dee da da, ya da da, dee da da. Here we go. A, C, ready? Bring out the decorations when the melody's not being played. Okay, here we go. C. Ready? Starting here, the next one's here, the next one's here. Okay? They're not all the same. E. E, E, E. Ready? Okay, that's one of those decorations that you wake up grandma. She's asleep. Clang! Not ugly, but bigger. Okay. Where is that anyway? That's F, right?
Yeah.
F. Ready? Stage don't sound the same. I wrote a note to myself at F that the decorations were covering the melody. You know where the melody is, right? That beautiful legato melody. But in here, it's not doing that to me. I guess it's because I'm on the podium and they're right here. But on my recording, you're going to hear me say the decorations are covering the melody a little bit. At that point, I'm feeling like broom is becoming the primary line, and that's not it. Okay, so F, ready? Just keep doing what you're doing. More trumpet. Guys, every note doesn't have to be perfect. Every note doesn't have to be perfect. Every note doesn't have to be perfect. So, it's going to be faster. G. 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 Ready? Big slap right there. Okay, how much time do we have?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay. Jump to J. J. No, don't jump to J. I. Ready? I. Oh, before we do it, One measure before J. Can we put maybe a little crescendo? A little crescendo? Or maybe y'all did that. I wrote a question, I wrote an exclamation point and a crescendo. Did you put a crescendo in?
I think, yeah, man.
I can't imagine I put an exclamation point because I was wondering about it. I put a question mark.
Yeah, I think.
No, you guys did a little crescendo into J, right? It was wonderful. It was wonderful. Hey, I, ready? I is an eyeball. What do you call a fish with no eye? You already read the book. The Garrison Keillor joke book. Here we go. Ready? I. You don't know who Garrison Keillor is either, do you? Right? He does. He does. All right. I. Ready? That's an important decoration. Okay, start there at, where was that? Where was that? Where are we starting? J. I don't want to start all the way back at J again. J, ready? J. Good job. Right there. I mean, oh man, that sounds great. I mean, that was as hairy as you can get. Good job. This piece is not supposed to sound pretty all the way through. It shouldn't. Okay, here we go. Let's start there. Is that 4, variation 4? Yeah. Here we go. Let's hear some hair. Let's hear that hair again. It says, ooh, I wrote a note on the score. Don't read. Okay, here we go. L. L, ready? You got a tuba and a trumpet playing melody. Everything else has to back down there. When you get, hey, the opening there is good, but when you get there, everything else is going to drop down. Almost every band you hear on that trumpet and tuba thing, the trumpet dominates the sound. Almost every time. There's a certain band in this state. It rhymes with Oxborough, and I heard them play this at festival, and for the first time in my life, the tuba just dominated it right there. And I thought, finally, I'm a tuba player. I thought, finally, it's not a trumpet solo with tuba accompaniment. Okay, but, so tuba, dominate right there. Who's playing the solo? Dominate. Trumpet, you're fine. Everybody else back away. There's the melody. Okay, let's start that again, so I can hear that hairy opening again. L, ready? L, ready? I mean, if it was the band director at Oxborough, you know it was well thought out. And let me tell you what, it was fantastic. Look at the Omar Thomas. I said on the tape at the beginning that I hadn't heard this piece, I wasn't familiar with it. I'm not going to try to work on it. But once you got into it, I thought, oh yeah, I just heard it all state last month. But the things I want to talk about on this, guys, this is an emotional piece, and you guys brought it off. Ms. Thomas, who was sitting in the middle, the judge in the middle, she was crying at the end of this. And it wasn't fake tears. She was crying at the end of this. The thing I want to compliment you the most on this is the choral section. Usually when bands sing, the female voices dominate the sound. You can imagine. You guys did a really, in fact, when you started singing, I thought, are only the boys singing? That's exactly what I thought. They weren't, were they? Girls were singing too, right? It literally sounded right away like, are the girls singing? But I listened to it, I thought, oh my gosh, the blend is just ridiculous. Because the girls and boys' voices were blended so really well together that it didn't sound like, it was just really well done. I don't know who worked on it. You're the choir director, right? Are you
No,
still the
that's
choir?
me.
Yeah. Did you work on it?
A little bit, but mostly Mr.
Well, I'm just saying, it was really well done. Really well done. You guys played a terrific program, you know. And again, like I said, maybe it's not like Texas, but in Texas, the only people who get to choose their curriculum are the music teachers. Nobody else gets to choose what their kids are going to do. You know, they're told, read this novel, read this story, read this chapter, read this, and because it's going to be on the text. And, but really well. Could you have picked a better program, Alberta? Could you have picked a better program than this?
First class.
First class all the way. So, I could have just got up here and said, it was great, guys, but it was fun. I did this for me, I didn't do this for y'all. Go home, have a good time. Guys, it was great. You don't have to do that.
All right, check it out. It's beautiful work tonight. Please put everything away in the room before you go, so next week is present to deal with your stuff. If you want to stick around and watch the percussion ensemble around 8:30.
You want to see something funny? I've got the clinic for the percussion ensemble. That's really going to be funny. Let's go!
Anyways, great
As
job
a percussion
tonight.
teacher, I'm a really good tuba player.
We'll see you around this weekend. Congratulations.